What's going on, everybody? Wanted to make another video today about the constant roller coaster that is Sorcery. I got some notes to follow along here, and I just wanted to kind of talk about some pull rates and then the beta reprint. I know that's a hot button issue with a lot of people right now. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. We don't even know the actual print run so far of the original quote unquote beta and then what they did with the summer reprint. But some of these numbers are going to be based on alpha boxes because we know those numbers and those print runs. We do know the numbers of foils and like the numbers of uniques and what you get out of a beta box, but we don't know the official print run of beta. And it seems to be that a lot of people are upset that the reprint is going to cause cards to go down in value and kind of mess up their investment, which is a whole nother issue because I believe at its core, Alpha is the investment set. That is the set that went to Kickstarter, and that is the box that if you're going to invest in this game and not play it, which if you haven't had the chance to play Sorcery, please go play a game. It is one of the funnest card games I've ever played. If not, it is the funnest game I've ever played as far as, just playing a TCG. But if your goal in this game and in this market is to invest in a set, Alpha is the set to invest in. And right now it's floating between $900 and $1,200 a box. It's went down a little bit recently, but I think that it's a vocal minority right now that is kind of griping about the beta reprint. But I wanted to get through some numbers. So right now, a Kickstarter box was limited to 29,000 boxes. You get 7 to 9 foils in a box. You can get more if you're in, it is random. Well, it's supposed to be randomized, but you're going to get between 7 and 9 foils and 7 to 9 uniques. Now, that doesn't mean that any of the foils are going to be unique. It doesn't mean that the foils are going to be of any guaranteed rarity, which I do have some numbers on those. So 1 in 17 foils is going to be a unique, and it will take 1 in 68 packs to pull a foil unique. 3 in 17 foils will be elite. 1 in 22 packs will be elite foils. 6 out of 17 foils will be exceptional. That'll take 1 in 11 packs. And then 7 in 17 foils will be 1 in 9 packs. I'm sorry if I misspoke earlier on the elites. I wanted to clarify that it's 3 in 17 foils will be elite, and it'll take 1 in 22 packs to get a foil elite. Right now in beta/alpha, there's 403 unique cards. That's different cards, not unique in rarity. And there's 67 uniques. In Arthurian Legends, you have 223 cards, which brings the total number of the set up to 626 cards. If you combine either alpha or beta, whether or not you're counting Eric's Curious of the card, and the AL set. In an AL box, I don't have specific numbers of those, but you're going to be able to get 10 uniques per box, 5 of which are probably going to be the elite printed rarity uniques, Knights, Sirs, and Dames, and you're going to get 6 foils. To take it way back in a time machine, Pokemon base set had 102 cards, Jungle had 64 cards, and Fossil had 62 cards, bringing the total of their first 3 sets to 228 cards. I didn't go any further than that on Pokemon because I believe then it went into base set 2, which was a reprint of base set. And then I think it went into Team Rocket, and then it went into Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. I don't have the numbers on those. To compare it once again, Magic Alpha had 295 cards, and then when they did their beta set, they had 302. That was also their limited set, which is, I think, the next thing that if if Eric's Curioso wanted to change the beta reprint style of, calling it a reprint, they could do an unlimited printing. And my suggestion would be doing a beta box, but change the copyright code down at the bottom, the set code, to be a U, and it would be a unlimited base, and just don't put any foils in it. Make it a game piece box. That would preserve the price of the foils. That's my main thing with talking about these numbers, is that the value in the cards is the foils, and Eric's Curiosa has perfected the box opening for these sets, for Alpha, Beta, and Ethereum Legends. The box opening is so good, and the foil rarities of pulling a foil unique is hard to do. It is very hard to do. Getting back into the numbers, so expansions for Magic, Arabian Nights had 92 cards, Antiquities had 100, Legends had 310. So if you combine Alpha, Beta, we'll just do Alpha, Beta, or Arabian Nights, Antiquities. I think if you just pick one or the other, Beta or Alpha, you'd be at 494 cards in their first 3 sets. So Sorcery would be ahead of the number on that. And then if you bring in Legends at 310, you'd be at 804 cards. So 626 with just 2 sets of Sorcery compared to the very beginning of Magic going up to 804. I think we're doing very good. And that's my main focus of this video, is that the number of cards that we've gotten from Beta and Arthurian Legends combined. I know a lot of people are hounding on the 1 set a year thing right now. And as long as they keep these sets at a decent size, I think Arthurian Legends, it's the second set of a new TCG, and that's kind of the make or break for a TCG. And I think they handled it well, especially with it being geared more towards it being a limited or a draft set, which I do agree that the packs, if you open them, they are perfect for a limited setting. But for an entire year of that being not a main focus, because a lot of Sorcery players really like playing constructed, and some of the bigger events are both. You'll need to do a sealed or a limited draft kind of deal, and then day 2 or later in the tournament you go into constructed. So you need to know how to play all formats if you're going to be a good tournament player in Sorcery. So I think as far as all of that, I just wanted to kind of break down the numbers before I got into some other topics of, it started out, it's considered an indie game. It started on Kickstarter. We know the pitfalls and the things that go along with Kickstarter. Everything's the next biggest thing. We all remember how MetaZoo went. We know how Altered's going right now. I think Sorcery is just doing super well right now. They're doing super successful. They're finding a way right now to try and make a perfect balance between growing the game, which they needed to do. Like I said before, we don't have official numbers of how many boxes of beta were printed. We just know that more is needed. And the online community was saying how we needed more beta. And now that more beta is on the way, now certain people, I think mainly investors and flippers, are getting upset. And I don't see why, because most of the value right now in this game is the curios and the unique foils. Outside of some unique foils, everything is very reasonably priced. Like, you can get a non-foil playset of everything, I think outside of the cores in the Philosopher's Stone from Beta, for like around $600. That's 403 cards. And then if you throw in the Philosopher's Stone and the cores are, a little bit more expensive, and they're not needed for every competitive deck. I'd argue that you don't need them for a lot of them. There's been other videos that have, gone into the statistics of what winning decks have been using the cores and a P-Stone. And especially now that the deck size is at 50-30, I don't think they're as necessary. The deck that I'm running in my tournament next week, I don't have a core in it. To combine off of that, Kickstarter, a lot of people just use that as an investment, and that's the investment set for this game. It's limited to 29,000 boxes. and those boxes went up in value, as they should. And I think you'll see a lot of box openings right now. A lot of people sell individual packs and whatnot for, those, and that's a great option because a lot of people can't afford right now at the price. Even if they've went down, $1,000 booster box is outside of the realm for a lot of people. So to have the opportunity to be able to buy individual packs from various sources, for $40, $50 a pack, and take a shot at getting a very expensive foil is pretty cool. Allows people to get into that. But it also, keep in mind that people are opening those boxes and they're wanting to make a profit. So those boxes have 39 packs in them, as opposed to Beta that has 36, Arthurian Legends has 24. That's the investment set. So I think that's what we need to keep in mind. Beta, it's kind of in the name, and I don't think I've seen anybody else say this, but beta, kind of a beta test. They could just keep it running as an unlimited set. We're always going to need beta cards. They could just reprint it at the summer print ratio, which kind of made it a little bit harder to hit foil uniques, even than the 1 in 68 for an alpha box. I'd say it's probably even harder to do that in a summer beta box. So the reprint and the quote reprint that hasn't even happened yet, I don't think it's going to be that big, and I don't think we're ever going to get official numbers, and I don't think we should. We don't want this game to pull a Flesh and Blood and say, oh, we printed 125,000 boxes, and then all the boxes go down to $50 a piece. We don't want that. In on the inverse, the expected value right now from a beta box and a Arthurian Legends box is pretty good. Arthurian Legends is a tough box to open, to be honest, but it is pretty close to what you're paying for a box. Right now, I think it's a great time to be a player and a collector in this game, because if people are deciding they were in it for the wrong reasons and they just wanted to, invest in the game and they don't see it moving further, I definitely think it's going to continue on. They already have plans for the next few sets. We have the Dragon Lord set coming soon. We just had binders and sleeves and shirts and hoodies hit the Sorcery store. Everybody's super stoked about that. I think that's a great sign. Buy the dip right now. I saw a alpha foil color out of space go the other day for $310 on eBay. So outside of the fees, that seller, after he shipped it and the fees, he probably cleared about $260. So a color out of space, an alpha foil, which is limited to 280 per alpha foil, unique. That's nuts. Buy the cards if you got the money right now. Beta is more affordable than ever. The foils even. The non-foils, definitely get your play sets if you need them. Those have always been a more reasonable price. So yeah. And then I wanted to end on the different types of TCG people that are in this game right now. You have players, you have collectors, you have player collectors, and then you have investors. Players are going to be in this game. You're going to have the same core of players and Discord members. They're going to be in it until the bitter end. And I don't see the bitter end anytime soon. I think this game is phenomenal. I think the gameplay is great. Every time I've played the game, I could lose 40 games in a row and I'd still have a blast. Just the bump up to 50-30, just with some of the craziness that happens in these games, it slowed it down a little bit. It kept you from getting rootsed on turn 4. The same group of players is always going to be here. Now there's a large group of collectors in this game as well. You have Collector Art House, which does a phenomenal job with some of the altars and the art prints and the paintings and stuff that they do. There are a ton of collectors in this game, and high-end collectors as well. There's been some altered Death Speaker cards that look amazing, some altered just regular cards that look great, and I think that's very good for the game. Then you have player collectors, which is a combo of both. I would kind of fall in there. Like in the background, I have a Water Castle canvas I've never been able to pull the Water Castle Curio. I wish I could, but I got the next best thing. I got a canvas, didn't spend $1 million on it. Maybe one day the curios will no longer elude me and I'll get a curio. But player collectors are the ones that, you know, they might have some foils in their deck. They might have some high-end foils. They might get some cards graded, but they also play the game as well. And that's like the perfect combination. And then you have investors. A lot of, you know, TCG players and TCG people, just want to, they get into the game to make money, and that's fine. It's at the end of the day, this game is the company's game. It's Eric's Curios's game, and it's their goal to make money so they can keep making more cards and more sets and pay the artists, because this game does not use AI artwork like some other games. They're all hand painted pieces. And if you're getting into a TCG right now to invest, just be careful. Just use common sense. Don't overspend, and just do what you do. So yeah, I just wanted to it's been a week since I did my other video, and I kind of glossed through some things, and I wanted to, you know, kind of address a few things, maybe calm down some people. I think the game is doing well. The company is clearly moving into the fact that they want this game to be played. And you can tell that is evident by what they're doing. The Play Network, there's always events popping off. I'm seeing a lot more events pop up in the Discords and online. Like I talked about in the last video, the Spring Social's already scheduled. I'm sure March of the Mortals or something similar will pop off. Gen Con is all but confirmed, and I know there's going to be another Sorcery Con. Hopefully, you know, next end of October, early November, sometime in there. So they clearly want the game to be played. The game just, it begs to be played. And my moral of the story with this is that if you haven't played Sorcery yet, just give it a chance. It's a very, very good game. I've kind of adjusted the way I explain it to people now. I used to say it's a mix of old school Magic and chess. And I'm kind of leaving the comparison to Magic out until, you know, I talk to them, you know, further on. It's a movement-based, grid-based TCG with hand-painted art, and it has amazing gameplay. That is how I sell it to people now. And then, you know, down the road, you know, 15, 20 minutes into the conversation, if I want to compare like the mana base or the sites to, like, you know, how Magic is played, that kind of helps them grasp things a little bit better. It's easy to have a game to compare things to, but this game is definitely on its own right now as far as gameplay wise. I think it's near the top, and I'm looking forward to see what the future has. Thanks for watching the video. If you've made it all the way to the end, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is EndFaze Games, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.